So we're going to speak on some of the biggest points here right now and how it's followed me. It started almost in 2018, 2019. I want to get the exact dates. I was dealing with things on the street that I'm still dealing with now. I was dealing with it in Pitt Meadows and Maple Ridge. People were using, it sounds crazy, but they were using gases against me. Carbon monoxide, specifically, carbon dioxide. A lot of the times they would it would get me physically sick. This is beyond just that, but I'm still dealing with that here in Lethbridge today. So you'll see how that plays an integral part in everything that's been going on. Okay. So because of this, basically in 2019, I ended up getting followed. I had called police services that actually investigate the cops multiple times over the years. I've actually made reports when I was in jail, trying to get people to understand what I was dealing with inside the cells. It wasn't even on inmate, it was what I was dealing from an institution itself. I do plan on following through with a lawsuit here so that I can try to solidify and guarantee my future as I feel like I'm dealing with the same issue here. Basically, in 2019, because of the situation, we can get into exact details and dates. I was living in this place on Harris Road. Things were going very odd. I felt like we were being followed. I couldn't understand the situation. There's more to it. I think that has partly to deal with Becca, and I'm not sure about that as to this date, but either way, if it doesn't, then it does either way has led to negative things happening to her, and I need people to understand just exactly how. Okay. From them sharing personal information, everything from medical to dental. Basically what happened is they were trying to get me to kill myself, and it's been a following theme for the past, probably 6-7 years, and it might seem hard to explain at first, and it seems a little bit out there, but the longer you follow through and follow along, the more you'll realize that I'm telling the 100% truth. Everything from when I was in jail. So we're going to talk about the big one here. This is the one that really led up to the situation with Becca. But the way it works is most of the jails, they all have a certain hospital provider that they deal with. So at the time, I felt like I was getting issues from Pitt Meadows Police. And I was getting issues from Maple Ridge RCMP. And they were trying to slowly screw with my life. They've actually thrown fake charges at me, charges that do not add up. You'll understand how and why soon. So basically they came in, said that I had done something that I hadn't done. Basically I went to jail for a short bit. While I was in jail, they kept me in a cell, and they would run, at the time it was simple, they ran a small little engine so that the stuff that was blowing out from it would blow into the vents for me. It made me super sick. I ended up getting carbon monoxide poisoning. They were using that as a sort of torture to try to get me to, I guess I would say, almost break mentally and physically. And this has been a super long thing to go along with. This is back in 2019 I was dealing with this. And there's a lot of people in Lethbridge here that know I'm dealing with it now. So 2019, they got me kicked out of my house for a charge. So basically they gave me out, released me basically right after the 3 days, told me that there was some issues at that time. That was the first time we ever talked about Becca. It was about Becca and some past associates that they felt like I was attached to, and they were trying to get me to basically kill myself. I don't understand the way you will understand, okay? But this is where I don't want to put down accusations until I can get to the truth, right? Okay, because I know I've never dealt with the cops, and I'm willing to get just about every single piece of paperwork literally live streamed. I want to release it. You'll never find paperwork that I've signed against anybody else. And basically, it was about a situation at the time. I don't even think anybody knew about it, but they were trying to get me to kill myself. This is early 2019. At the time, I thought I was going crazy. Right? It's a very hard situation to deal with, and the more you realize and the more people that know about it, the farther we get to the point where we're at now. I'm pretty sure those who know that I'm not. And then the more we dig into it, the more you're going to see that there's layers to this onion. One of the biggest things was I ended up being gassed, so I went to the very openest spot that I could find at night, right? It had just been after I'd been released from the jail. They had basically told me in the jail at that time when I got out I was to kill myself. Or honestly, they've used just about every person in my life and threatened them at that time. They threatened my sister and my brother. They're fairly aware of the situation, but right now, as it's not safe, I don't feel like bringing them in, but they can and probably will eventually be open to talking about that. I spoke to them very, very openly at that time because I had no idea what was going on. Basically, so I was scared for my life. When I got released, I ended up walking all the way to, there's a bridge there, and they had basically had cops on both sides waiting for me to jump. As they told me, I felt like if I walked or did something. I ended up standing there all night. I stayed there all night until the next morning when traffic was going, and I asked for people to basically stop. And then I waved people down. They called me an ambulance. An ambulance came, but with 2 cops. While I was dealing with that situation, this is a real life situation, I'm pretty sure there should be some form of an arrest record at this time. And as I was brought to Maple Meadows hospital at that time for, they said, mental health, but I was dealing with a real life situation. And if you are dealing with that type of a situation, who are you going to go to? I can't go and talk to the cops when I'm dealing with it from them. Okay? That's like, do you understand? So they took me from the hospital. While I'm standing on the bridge, one of the cops kept telling me to jump. He's like, it's your last chance, jump. Think about your family, jump. Told him no, waited, took me to the hospital. When I got to Maple Meadows, this is where it got really messed up. They ended up strip searching me with a female and 2 other cops. They ended up basically, while I'm in the hospital, he undid his gun and told me to reach for it, right? So there would be some form of a reason for them to be able to open fire on me, right? And this is a continuing theme also. It's followed me all the way to Lethbridge, where they want to try to start some type of get me to do something, steal a car or something, so that they can openly take me out, right? There's no investigation if I die from that. It makes me look like the one who is in the wrong. Suicide, there's no investigation. And it also has to pertain to Becca, who's personally at this moment missing, specifically about this story. So basically, I stood on that. I got to the hospital. They tried to get. I'm not having any of it. Right? Like I'm not. I'm like backing up. I'm like nope. Put me in the cell. They put me in a room in the hospital, dealing with the same shit that I was dealing with in the cell. Same town. Okay. This is 2019. They were questioning me about Becca a little bit, which is sort of odd, but I don't know if that's going to be on any of the police reports or anything. I doubt it. The more we get into this, we might be able to fully understand why. I'm hoping on talking to her parents here soon, specifically about this situation. I don't think they're aware of what I'm going through or what I've gone through prior to them with their daughter. And the story gets so insane that the longer you guys follow, the longer you guys are going to see that. I'm going to stop this here, and then we'll start another recording here.